Hi guys, and welcome to our channel. Today we're here to talk about an issue that happened to a close friend of mine. I don't even know how to put the question. It's not really a question, it's just a personal life experience. But I'll put it this way. So the story goes like this. My friend had this girl that he had been seeing for the past 2 years. They have been together for 2 years. So she came to spend the weekend with him at his house. She came on Friday and she then left on Sunday to go back to school. So later that day, after she left, supposedly went back to school, he called her phone to try to find out if she got home safely, or got to school safely, sorry. But she didn't pick up. So he called her friend to confirm because he was worried. He wanted to be sure that she got to school all right. Her friend picked up and was like, I haven't seen her yet. She didn't come to school. So he was like surprised because she had already left the house as at 9 a.m. in the morning, and this was like 6 p.m. in the evening. So he called her phone again. Her phone was busy. Then he stopped and waited for a while. And then he called her back, and then she picked up, and he was like, okay, why are you not in school? You said you were going to school and I didn't hear nothing from you. So she told him that she was at her mother's house. Her mother's house, which he, of course, knows very well. So he was like, he now called her on video call immediately. And it took her a while to pick up. But while she eventually picked up, she was back in the wall like this. Like she had her back up against the wall, and then the camera was facing her. So he was like, why are you back in the wall? What's wrong? It seems like you're not comfortable. She was like, no, she's comfortable, she's fine. This is a position she really likes. So he was like, okay. He didn't believe her, so he was like, spin the camera 360. I want to see what's on the other side of the room. Let me see. So she picked up, she started arguing like, what are you saying? You don't trust me, this and that. Eventually, after everything, it took her a while, but then she spinned the camera around. And when she spinned the camera around, he could see the outside view, and he could see the exterior view. And it was clear to him that wasn't her mother's house. So that alone brought up another argument. So they were arguing and they were going back and forth. You said you are in your mother's house, and then why is this not your mother's house? And back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then she kind of felt that there's something going on, and maybe he's onto something, and she wanted to bail herself out. So she started arguing and she started fighting with him. She was expecting him to back down, but he didn't back down, and they kept going back and forth. And then she then said she wasn't interested. If he doesn't trust her, that there's no point in them being in a relationship. And he said, fine, come and get your stuff from my house. And then she came down to his house. Meanwhile, before she got there, he had already gathered all her stuff and he had put it in his car. So when she came, he handed her stuff over to her. And prior to this time, she was having problems with her phone. So he gave her one of the phones he wasn't using. He gave to her to use for the time being. So while she was leaving, he had already fixed the phone that was bad, her phone that was bad. So he gave it to her, and she returned the phone that he lent her. Something was telling him to look through the phone, but he just didn't want to, because somewhere in his mind, he did not want to see something that would upset him. But then his assistant picked up the phone and opened up the phone and then showed everything to him. And lo and behold, this is a girl you've been dating for 2 years. And what did he see on that phone? He saw her price list. He saw chats where she was negotiating with men in terms of price and how much it was going to cost for them to be with her for a night, how much it was going to cost for them to be with her for 1 hour, how much it was going to cost in general for them to be with her. So in other words, her price was X amount. And this was somebody he has been dating for 2 years. And him just finding out that the person he has been dating with is actually selling herself for money. And also, let me mention this. Prior to this time, he had already asked her multiple times, are you sure that there's nothing you want to tell me? Are you sure that you are not into anything dodgy? And she swore that she was clean. After he saw all this, he also did see on that same phone that some chat she had with some of her friends where she told them that this guy, which is him, that she really loves him and she would do anything to keep him. She will make sure she never loses him for anything. Fair to her. But this was the problem. she was selling herself for money. She was selling her body for money. And there was a price on her, and she has slept with so many men. And this friend of mine was sleeping with her without a condom, without him obviously knowing these things. So he was very angry. He wasn't himself for a while. He was in rage that this is somebody I've been with for 2 years and this is what she has been doing. So he called her and asked her again, and she said no, that she's not doing anything. She's clean. She's this, she's that. So he now asked her to come over to his house. When she came over to his house, he confronted her with the evidence, and she argued and tried to fight and tried to wriggle out. But when she saw that the evidence was overwhelming, she broke down in tears and started with the emotional blackmail. And then there was something she said that he told me that made me laugh. She said, she person where they hustle know they love. It made me laugh. She said, person where they hustle know they love. To be fair to her, she loves the guy so much. But this is where she got it wrong. Sometimes you need to give people a chance to accept you for who you are. And how do you do that? You tell them what's up. Listen, this is what I do. I do this because of my circumstance. I do this because of this, that. Let that person have the choice. Let him have a choice. Let him pick you for who you are. So my question to you guys is this. As the girl said it, person where they hustle know they love, or person where they hustle they love. It was very funny when he was explaining it to me, because she had the nerve to actually tell him this. And some other guys would not have taken it so easy, because after this ordeal, the guy had to go and run some tests, medical tests, to make sure he was clean, which he eventually was. But what I want to ask you guys is, eventually the relationship was done already, was finished. Was she right not to tell him from the onset about her second life, or the second part of her? Was she right not to tell him? Should she have told him up front that, listen, this is what I do. Are you willing to accept me for this or not? So that's my question to you guys. Having said that, I want to encourage you guys to subscribe to my channel, like my channel, share my videos, and I'll see you again next time. Peace. Whoa, whoa.